The King of Clients, Episode 8, The Ghosts and the Grid. Justice too long delayed is justice denied. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Welcome back to The King of Clients. I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. We have proven that the legal system granted immunity, the financial system granted unlimited capital, and the political system granted cover. But the last and most complete betrayal happened in a federal jail at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. Dr. King wrote, "Justice too long delayed is justice denied." The years of delay, the years of cover-ups, led directly to this final, fatal act of denial. With Jeffrey Epstein awaiting trial, the single key witness to the web of powerful people who shared his crimes, the system failed him, and by extension, it failed every victim he ever harmed, as well as every American. On the morning of August 10th, 2019, the King of Clients was found dead in his cell. The official ruling was suicide by hanging, but the internal investigations from the Department of Justice Inspector General revealed a systemic collapse of procedure so complete that it defied belief. This was not a failure, it was a meltdown of the integrity of the state. Just weeks earlier, Epstein was found injured in his cell after an apparent suicide attempt and was placed on suicide watch, yet he was removed from suicide watch and left alone in his cell without a cellmate on the night that he died, despite a direct order to assign him one. The 2 guards assigned to check his cell every 30 minutes that night fell asleep for approximately 3 hours and later falsified records to claim they had performed their rounds. In a further violation of protocol, 1 guard was working a forced 24-hour shift. 2 security cameras outside his cell were not recording due to a mechanical failure that had been identified days before but was not fixed. The system that was meant to provide definitive evidence of what happened that night was, by an astonishing confluence of negligence and criminal misconduct, unusable. Former Attorney General William Barr later called it a perfect storm of screw-ups. But for the victims, it was the final, devastating act of protection for the King of Clients and his entire network. The failures at the MCC form what we call the grid. The institutional negligence, the poor staffing, the broken technology. But the result of that negligence is the ghosts, the names of every powerful person who was protected the moment Epstein died. The ability to compel the truth from the man who arranged the meetings, held the documents and knew the full extent of the global network vanished forever. The truth was not merely concealed, it was deliberately erased from the reach of the American court system. The two guards who falsified the logs ultimately received a plea deal, avoiding jail time after admitting to their failures. The system protected the architects of the scheme and then offered a legal escape hatch to the workers who had allowed the final tragic piece of evidence to be destroyed. The Inspector General found no evidence of foul play in how Epstein died, but they unequivocally found criminal misconduct and systemic negligence in why he was given the opportunity. The king of clients died in custody, and in doing so, he achieved the final, most devastating cover-up. The ghosts remain protected by the grid of negligence and misconduct. The system proved in its last act that it was incapable of delivering the final truth. It is easy to look at the broken cameras, the sleeping guards, and the immunity deals and succumb to despair. It is easy to feel the cold certainty that this crime is simply too big to be contained and that the cover-up is too powerful to be overcome. But this is where we turn their final failure into our final strength. Dr. King told us, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. The darkness they created, the secrecy of the NPA, the blindness of the banks, the failure of the jail, was all built on the hope that the truth would remain concealed. But we have brought the light, we have gathered the facts, we know the price of impunity, we know the address of every home, the name of every architect, and the dollar amount of every betrayal. Knowing the full extent of the enemy's fortress is the first half of the battle. The king of clients may have destroyed the final witness, but he could not destroy the mountain of evidence we have compiled. The list of names, the truth of his network, is now scattered across court documents, financial reports, and the testimony of over 1,000 survivors. The cover-up has made the story too big to contain. The truth is now an unstoppable force, a light that cannot be put out. Next time, we will detail the consequences of that unstoppable light. We will look at the people still fighting to keep the truth concealed and the enduring threat the full truth poses to the American elite. We look at the power of the list.